late than never. Today we are talking about the top 10 best movies of the year 2024. Let's get into it. Hi, how you doing today? It's Just Jess here. I hope you're having a good day. And today we are finally counting down the top 10 best movies of the year 2024. Sorry, I'm a little bit late with this video review as work was busy. Creating this list was no easy task, and of course I still had to watch movies in theaters. And we have two rules, by the way. The movies had to be played in theaters. This is crucial. The second one is literally had to come out between January 1st and December 31st. And comment down below what is your top 10 best of the list of the movie of the year. I would love to know and talk to you about it. And the way I did this list was the feelings, or did I connect with the movie? Let me explain. So did I see myself up there in terms of the actors? Did I connect with it and resonated with me in my life personally throughout the year it came out, such as spring, summer, fall, or the icy, wintry, cold season of winter? And also, did I like the soundtrack? Did it make me happy, sad, smile, emotional? Did these movies make me scared? Did it make me think about the future? So that's the way I'm curating this list. And without further ado, we're gonna start at top 10. So number 10, we have A Complete Unknown. And it's funny because this was the last movie I saw in theaters, which was the first one that I put on this list. I love Timothée Chalamet as an actor, so seeing him infuse the persona or the legacy of Bob Dylan was probably not an easy task, but using his acting skills as his mannerisms, the way he sings, commands his guitar, the overall vibe and the feel of the movie, I really loved. I'm a person who primarily listens to house music. I mean, I listen to everything, but I listen to EDM, house music, and techno, you know, oons. I loved some of the songs on here, and seeing his evolution when he started with folk music, but then started to incorporate elements such as rock and roll, was really awesome to see him evolve as a singer, as an actor, and also like being in the limelight of with his fans. I also love the love triangle that he has with Miss Barboa's character, and her actress does a phenomenal job of singing with one of being Joanne and also being an intimate relationship with Bob Dylan. Really was resonated, especially in this film, so that's why I really loved. And I have Maggie's Farm, the soundtrack, and other various that he sang in the movie on my YouTube that I really listened to in the wintry cold season, so that why it's top 10 list. And number 9, we got Inside Out 2, and we saw this in IMAX. I think why I love this movie is because the new emotion of anxiety. I was 29 going to be 30 when this movie came out, and I still have so much to go to, but I connected with anxiety heavily. It's a great representation of all the emotions, and the heartbreaking scene at the end, if you've seen the movie, where she actually has a panic attack. I don't think I've ever had a panic attack when I was younger. I think the first time I had a panic attack was in February of 2021, so a few years ago. And seeing her being in this panic attack, I was like, dude, I can definitely understand what you're going to. And when she calls out for Joy, that was heartbreaking. I was like, oh my god, dude, she's calling for you, Joy, and it's like the console is like lighting up. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. But it's a coming of age movie that any adult or any person of age can see themselves really connect with Riley in this character. I think that's her name, right? Riley? I don't know. I think this was Riley. I don't know what her real name is, but still. Dude, and of course, to top it all off, the beautiful animation was on screen represented. I was like, dude, this movie looks good, it sounds good, and then visually was appealing to everyone in the audience. And number 8, we have Challengers, and we saw this in IMAX. This is a beautiful tennis matches with dynamic camera shots that make it more exhilarating, especially watching this in IMAX. If you don't know, this was the sexy Zendaya threesome movie, although that was just a small scene through the entirety of the movie. It's basically like this love triangle of push and pull, relationships give and take, won't they? But the soundtrack was one of the downright best things of the movie. It was like heavy techno that fused the tennis matches, was much more exhilarating in terms of intensifying the match when the soundtrack came out. And it's like one of the best reels, shorts that people have done throughout this whole year, making like small videos with like the soundtrack. So that was pretty awesome to see. Number seven, we have my old ass watching this movie at 29 years old. I can go both ways because since the main character is 19, she conjures up her older self with Audrey Plaza at 39. It teaches you about living in the moments and not regretting your decisions, and also the people that you want to be with, but also gives you a chance to be thankful for what you have. The reason why I love this movie is because I was 29 when I was watching this movie. I really wish I was talking to my older self, being like, hey Jess, how's my YouTube career? Do I find a wife? Do I get a girlfriend? Like, what's going on? Where do I live? And they still talk throughout the rest of the movie. They still talk, they still text, but it's a coming of age that anyone at any age range can find enjoyment in, either talking to your younger self or your older self literally in the same time. Let's say I'm texting my older Jess, me like, hey Jess, I need help on this situation that I'm going through. Can you help me? And he'll call me, he'll come see me, we'll get drinks, you know, it's a great time. And number 6, we have We Live in Time. And fun fact about this movie came out in the weekend when I was in New York Comic Con. So I literally had to go to New York Comic Con, have fun, come back in Chicago, that's where I live, and then watch the movie. I love this because it's a great romance with beautiful performances such as Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield. I love Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh in their respective series and other movies, but putting them together, they have great chemistry all the way around, and also it's a dynamic duo that I didn't think I needed ever. It's a real life couple that love each other but also has to face a huge fact that life throws them a huge curveball, and how they deal with it on their own but also coming together as a unit. No spoilers. A lot of people, and I see some headlines online that it's a generic tearjerker. I think it was like on a Reddit review or Rotten Tomatoes review. I forgot where I read it and I'm trying to source it because I'm trying to go back, but it's like, it was a while ago. But to be honest with you, I don't necessarily think it's that. I mean, yeah, it's not a happy movie, but still, these are real life characters. They're grounded, you know, you see yourself out there. You're not Superwoman, you're not Superman. Like, they don't have special powers. They're just a great couple, you know, that wants to be a family. That's in like overseas, because this is not in US. I think this is like in UK or something. It makes you appreciate life, to be very honest with you. And number 5, we have Smile 2, and we saw this in Dolby. Fun fact as well, this along with We Live in Time literally came out the same weekend I went to New York Comic Con. So the same thing, I had to come back and then watch the movies because I was having fun over there. This takes the first movie's formula but injects it with new dynamics, twists such as the flashy flair lifestyle of megastar Pop Riley. That's where Riley came from. I'm trying to think, what? You know, where's that Riley from? Naomi Scott delivers an incredible performance. Not only does she act scared, but she infuses the character with her singing, her dancing, and the way she's choreographing her moves. So she's like the old triple threat. She sings, she dances, and she acts as well. Everything feels more leveled up and more fancier since it takes up in the New York high-rise apartments. Feel more leveled up because she's a megastar, but also trying to break this curse of the smile. I love the soundtrack as well. I even have some of the soundtracks incorporated into my playlist as well, such as Blood on the White Stand and New Brain, which is mesmerizing to see. And it came out at a perfect time. It was the scary fall October season. And number 4, we have Spy Family Code White. This is an excellent side story that someone who hasn't even seen the series can get caught up to speed with the characters, because it tells you everything in like the first 7 minutes without spoiling the season 1 or season 2. And by the way, season 3 is coming out this October. I'm very excited to see that. Great year for entertainment as well. Does a good job of balancing the line between humor but also a little bit of action adventurous, and also the hints of flirtation between the two, like wife and Lloyd and Yor, because you know, if you've seen the series, you know they like each other at least a little bit. But it's speaking of an anime that can seat anyone in all ages, plus the English voice acting is awesome and has come a long way and make you feel right at home if you've seen the series, because it has a lot of hints, callouts, and Easter eggs to season 1 and season 2. Before I give you my top three, this one, I'm a little bit cheating by the way, but I'll explain it to you. And number 3, we have Interstellar, and we saw this in IMAX, and I get it. This movie technically didn't come out this year, but just like many of you, I saw this in IMAX. The way movies are meant to be seen, at least for the first 2 times in theaters. So watching this in IMAX was an exhilarating, mesmerizing experience. Yes, I get it, it's cheating, but to be honest with you, if you ask me what's the best movies of 2024, I am going to say Interstellar, because that's the first time I saw it in theaters. We journeyed to a space far beyond horizon, learning about black holes and time relatively, and also the amazing cinematic score and soundtrack by Hans Zimmer, no less. Not to mention the incredible docking scene. That scene was, I can't even have words to explain that scene, other than the feeling that I got in theaters when everyone shut the hell up and was just looking at each other like, wow, did he actually pull that off? And yes, he did. It's a great story about a father who gives up everything to save humanity and goes far beyond. And number 2, it's funny because we got Dune Part 2, and we saw this in IMAX. This takes sci-fi fantasy to the next level and adds to the overall world building that the first movie did so well. You get to see the world of Arrakis under new lights with the worm scene, which is the worm ride, which was a scene that was another one that shut the hell my theater up, because when that scene ended, people were like looking at each other like such gasps, especially in IMAX. Of course, beautiful cinematography and score especially makes you feel like you're there in the world of Arrakis. You're not just seeing it, it feels like you're transported there, especially with what they have accomplished with this movie. Excellent casting with Timothée Chalamet. We have more of Zendaya now. In the first movie, you know, Zendaya was just hinted till I think like 6 minutes at most, and we have Austin Butler here, and we also have Florence Pugh. That's crazy. And number 1,
walang araw na hindi ko inisip na sana marating na natin yung future na pinangarap nating dalawa. Hindi naman siguro masamang humingi ng isa pang chance.
I'm sorry, but I don't give second chances.
Sorry, I don't want you back.
It's Hello, Love Again. Like I said in my review, this isn't just one of the best movies of the year. It's literally my best movie of my whole life. Really resonated with me physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It's made by Filipinos actors, and it's a great representation of overseas Filipino workers, especially in a well-crafted movie such as romance. It's like 60%, no, it's like 75% Tagalog and 25% English, so it blends in like the seamlessly of the language. The characters are grounded in real life and various others. Because I'm half Filipino, I can literally see myself out there going through everyday life in situations that fundamentally change who you are as a person. Not to mention the beautiful soundtrack, sound as Palagi. Palagi, oh my god, I cried to that song because at first I didn't know what it meant, and then I did the English translations. I'm like, dude, it just adds an emotional layer of depth that tugs at your heartstrings and powers up those feelings of emotions. I can't stop thinking about this movie. And this was a sequel from 5 years ago, from 2019's movie Hello, Love, Goodbye. This was 5 years later to see Ethan and Joy reunite to see if their relationship can be saved, what happened in the time apart. So usually with sequels for movies, it's 1 year or it's 2 years or 3 years. No, this is 5 years. The character has changed to a fundamental level. And I saw this during the fall season. It's November. It was my birthday. It was literally like a week before Thanksgiving. It was the best time of my whole life. Before this movie, the favorite movie that I had was, I don't know if you can see it, was Nerve. I don't think it's gonna take multiple years for another movie to take this spot. I also have a link below. This movie is not just best of the year, but my whole life. The soundtrack, the characters, they're going through real life situations. They're not Superman or Superwoman. No, this is a love story. This is amazing. And if you haven't seen my review, please check it out because I go well in depth. This movie made me cry. What I said about this was I went into this blind, this movie, and I left out in tears. Anyway, I just want to say thank you. This year has been amazing and probably one of my best lives going to Comic-Cons. I still don't have a girlfriend. I still don't have a fiance. So hopefully 2025, I'm trying to find her. But yeah, just thank you. We have been seeing increased viewership. So I don't ever see my life without YouTube or talking about movies. But at the end of the day, I really appreciate it so much because if you're not here, I'm not here, so there's no point. But it really means a lot. I know I'm weird and I like to like jumble and talk about words and stuff, but doing YouTube and movies means everything to me. You have no idea how many things I put away or sacrifice just to talk about movies. Whether it's family outings, girlfriends, or just, you know. If you made it this far, I really appreciate so much. Maybe consider hitting that like button and turning on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that, take care, bye!